Oh, let's see if this will work. I had to escape the rains there, and I've never edited a video yet in any of the videos I've ever done. They've always been, what you see is what you get, and this is the first time that I'm adding to a video with this video right here and now. So it's now 5:01 p.m. on September 21st, 2017, and we were talking about, or I was discussing, why there are so many people that are talking in such different language with what's going on planet, and you wonder why so many of these teachers who we have such great respect for are talking about soul integration in the going through life without the ego, the losing of the ego, which is what you have to do in order to get to the ascension process. The ascension process is shifting the consciousness out of the head into the heart and being here more than 51% of the time rather than being here. And so many of these teachers we feel are so, pure and enlightened, but it was like, why are these messages so different from the starseed messages? And it's because they're earth seeds. Or they're working towards that earth seed ascension initiation. It's just like Benjamin Krim, who channeled Maitreya for many years at the end of his life, and also James Tiburon, Tybe, he's saying that so many of the people on Earth, it'll take up to 7 lifetimes for them to go through their ascension process. And I was going, that's freaking crazy. How can they, what are they talking about? And what they're talking about is that which so many of us have been through so many times before, and we don't have to go through that process again. But the persons who are really just now waking up, they have no choice because it is a process. It's just like that truck right behind me. Until you can learn how to mine metals, to understand what metallurgy is about, to create tools to refine that metal and turn it into steel, as well as make the glass, as well as make rubber and plastic, then you could not build that car. It is a process. And it's many people just are not going. They have not been through that higher level ascension process. And that is the difference between the earth seeds and the star seeds right there. It's not that star seeds are greater than or anything else. No, I mean, the people here, those of us that understand what's going on galactically and universally right now, we understand that everybody, galactic-wise, is focused in on what's going on with the Earth seeds, not the star seeds. The star seeds are the volunteers to come help the Earth seeds get pulled through this. and we've already been through our processes. And that also gets frustrating. It has frustrated me many times over these past 8-9 years. Just like, say, Greg Braden. Greg Braden is one of my heroes, absolutely. It's just like Deepak and Eckhart Tolle and all of them. Mooji, those are all heroes of mine. But Greg Braden, back in 2009, when we were getting the first 8,000 people to shift our consciousness from the duality, plurality, ego, brain, and move their mind into the consciousness of their heart. Heart math at that time was trying to figure out the scientifics behind it, and they were just coming out with it. Oh, if you can focus your meditation in your heart, then you feel that tritial field develop, that yoga bliss starts happening. But I kept on talking about ascension to these guys, and they couldn't get it. Ascension is when it becomes a permanent state of being. You're in that yoga bliss all the time. You cannot shut it down. You have cut on the light switch of activating your chakras, and it does not go off anymore because you reached and anchored that level of vibration, that level of frequency. And that's the kicker right there. And so many star seeds go, especially once they get to there, they go, I remember this. This is home. This is how it's supposed to be. I'd forgotten it all this life. And the earth seeds, they're just now getting to it. And they've got to go through that whole process. Now, does it have to be 7 lifetimes like Tybe and Maitreya was saying through Benjamin Grimm? I say no. Why? Why? I mean, what a waste of time. I mean, all you've got to do is focus on yourself. You got to surrender the ego. You got to get out of your head. I hear so many people saying, advance your heart, but smarten your brain. Why? When you're truly living through your heart, then your brain is operating just like it's supposed to operate. It is the computer that literally creates the manifestation through the focus, thought, and emotion. It is the generator. So intellectually, I mean, where do you want to go? Do you want to continue through AI? Okay. If you want artificial intelligence, then learn how to build the trucks. Learn how to build more computer stuff. Learn how to program it. But if you want ascension initiations, if you want to literally do all the things that all this modern technology does for us artificially, rather than what we should be able to do and can do, what many masters do here on Earth at this time, then you've got to get out of that head. You cannot be in that ego duality game. You've got to understand what it's all about. You've got to understand how consciousness works. And intellect and consciousness are 2 completely different things. Intellect goes with ego. Ego is your focus on what you believe, belief, be lie F. Every time you be that lie, you're going to make another F. Intellect is very much tied in with the ego and the brain game, and that duality, separation, plurality. Consciousness is truly tied to the wholeness and the singularity of the field. It is the all that is. You don't have to be going to school and be taught something in order to be conscious of it. Consciousness can make you aware of, hey, I've got a feeling something's going on over here a couple hundred yards, and there's people over there walking down the street. And so consciousness and intellect are 2 very, very different things. Consciousness is that everything in existence, all that God is, shares together. Intellect is on the individual. And that is exactly where so many of the teachers are focused on with so many people right now, is to get them out of that brain game and out of the duality, plurality, and truly holding space within the heart. Because all the earth seeds, they have to go through this process. They've got to embody the soul. First of all, initiation 1, is when you decide you want to return home, when you decide you want to become part of Source again, to reunite with Source again, to become enlightened or Christed. Initiation number 2 is a time period of staying and holding that focus so that your higher self knows that you're sincere about this and you want to get all these problems that you experience in the lower life vibrations and frequencies, you want to be over and done with them. Number 3 is soul embodiment. That's Ascension Initiation number 3. Ascension Initiation number 4 is allowing soul to totally control and direct your life, which is where so many of these teachers, the Earthseed teachers, are teaching. And then when you do shift from here to here, that's Ascension 5. Ascension Initiation number 5, the activation of the heart chakra. And then all the other 6 of the original 7 chakras activate. And then you have the Ascension Initiation. That was 1111, right, as I looked down at that. Ascension Initiation number 7 is when the chakras go vertical and the Ascension column is formed, just like you see painted over archangels or painted over Christed beings. And it's that 3rd and 4th Ascension Initiation that I was getting so frustrated, because why are these guys constantly repeating this stuff? And it's because that is an Earth Seed thing. The Star Seeds, so many of us have gone past that Ascension column and the verticalization of the chakra system, and we've gone spherical. And that's Ascension Initiation number 8. And then every other initiation, which there's many, many more, is just like that diesel engine from there on out. Your Merkaba, your field, the parameter of your field you feel spinning is your Merkaba. The internal energetics, magnetics of that field is your toroidal field. And it is that toroidal field that when you shift the consciousness from here to the sacred spot in, the toroidal field starts activating. It is when you fully have anchored it that it can never be shut off, and you've achieved the 5th Ascension Initiation, the activation of the heart chakra. and so the star seeds, so many of us are speaking through a spherical level. That's a monadic, a galactic level of initiation. We're dealing with our galactic selves, our integration of the monad, all the other parts of us that are having experiences all over this galaxy in the here and now, and really all over this universe, because monad is not just dealing with just this galaxy. We're in many other different galaxies at the same time. But within this universe, the activation that is the spherical activation is your galactic or monadic activations. That's where the difference is right there that was frustrating me so much between star seeds and earth seeds. And then last night, right in the height of the energies coming in, which was right at midnight, it was peaking out heavily. All of this started becoming really clear as to what I was missing. Uh-oh. I hope that didn't stop the video. As far as what I was missing with that last message and seeing, comprehending, understanding why so many of the incarnate twin flames on this planet, which are the earth seeds, cannot comprehend, cannot relate to those things that we're saying. And how can somebody who's never had the experiences of ascension, who doesn't realize or remember their past lives, or hasn't raised their frequency level to that point of receiving the same information because they haven't gone through the initiation, the heart activation initiation process, that step into 5D. They haven't done that yet. How can, until they do that and have that desire to do it, which you have to have before, you have to be tired of the crap before you're going to get to that point where you go, yeah, I want to focus in on, I want to figure out what a quantum universe is all about. I want to return back to source, to self. I'm tired of playing these painful duality games in this planet that's just so difficult. And I want my magic back. How can they even begin to understand? They can't. They can witness the magic that so many of the others of us show in our lives, and they can witness that, but how can they really understand it and know that that is a permanent state of being, something that you can be at all times, if they haven't experienced it themselves? And that's exactly why this time of ascension, those of us that are going through the process and bringing everybody else through, because everybody on this planet will eventually go through this process. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will go through it, or you will no longer be living on Earth. Your frequencies won't match. That's why we've got to do this in front of people this time. That's why we have to express the process rather than us having our previous knowingnesses. And that knowingness only comes from the heart. Thinking comes from the brain. Knowing comes from the heart. And there's a lot of scientists that think that they know how everything works, and then they find that their theories are shot down. It's because they think and they don't know. So this ascension is a knowingness. It's a memory. It comes from the heart. It comes from the field. It's not. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It just is the fact, Jack. And that's a huge difference between intellect and consciousness, right there. You think something when you're in your intellect. You consciously, you know it. You know what your twin flame is thinking, or you know what your higher self is trying to tell you through your message. And only there can you, looks like I got somebody pulling up behind me. Only there can you really start relating to your next moves that your higher self is trying to guide you through. You have to totally surrender and allow your higher self to take over, to be able to be at the right place at the right time, to hear those knowingnesses and know it's a knowingness and not something you're thinking. It's just like where I had to be for the total solar eclipse. I'd never been there before. And it turned out to be the center point of the center point, and turned out to be right at the center of the heart of Turtle Island, which is called the land between the lakes, and the land in the center of that water island that's right where the center point of the center point was, that's in the shape of a heart. And that was just too freaking cool. It's very similar. Turtle Island is similar to a human physical form. And I've explained that many, many times now. And so although my farm just north of Memphis, Tennessee is called the heart of Turtle Island, this is the real heart of Turtle Island. And it's the land between the lakes. And it's right in perfect position in the Americas for the heart. So, and see, that goes back to what is happening right now, since we could not get enough people awake and aware and participating, knowing what we're here to do in the ascension process. Then you've got a great American Solar Eclipse that's going to bring in it's going to bring in that spiritual distillation process, whether people want to go through it or not. It could have been easy, but some people don't learn when it's easy, and so we got to make it a little bit more difficult until they can say, nah, I don't want this. Because until you say, no, you don't want something, then that's what you're going to get more of. How do you know what you want to create until you know what it is you don't want to create? And that's what the Earth Game's all about. That's literally it right here. That's what these past 4 worlds, and Lemuria and Atlantis and all the crap that we've been living through since the fall of Atlantis has been all about. It's what you don't want. And to experience that total separation from source, to be powerless or to feel powerless. You never were powerless. But anytime you put that energy on the exterior of you, you're giving up your power. I mean, it's wasting your magic. It's just like, so many people, they need another person to be in love with, to feel that feeling that when you go through the ascension process, you're permanently in that state of. And then you find that, if that person's not on my frequency sharing my values, then I can only handle so much of being around anybody. The person I'm married to is me. That's what ascension's about. You got out of that duality plurality and you form the singularity, the marriage of you in the heart. And a lot of people just aren't ready to go through that one yet. But a lot of people are. And I look back and see I activated through the person that I was shown and have been shown. And every time I ask this question, who is that person to me? That's the person that you split with. And when we were descending to Earth this time, I chose to be masculine, she chose to be feminine, and I remember, and I can see it in my meditations, it's almost like we're 2 ribbons of light, like flags waving in the wind, and I can go out and look back at her, and I can see that that is the same face, the same higher level of who she is, that I know her to be. But then we ripped apart, we split. And many times when we would make love, as we were done and staring into each other's eyes and sharing heart-to-heart connection, I would see her face regressing back to all of those faces that I remember her as, that I knew her as in various times that we were here together on Earth previous. And it was through tantric sex that I activated, and I was able to achieve those frequencies to go through the dimensional doorway, the gateway. And I was able to maintain, because of my love for her, that vibration, that frequency that kept me in the ascension realm. And then she couldn't maintain the space, and I couldn't ever understand why. I was like, it's just so simple. First of all, you got to want to do it, and she kept on saying that it couldn't be done, and I was going, I know this is what we have to do. I know, it's knowing. This is what we all have to do. And so I did it, but she's an earth seed and I'm a star seed, and that's 2 totally different things. How can she know, other than connection through me, coming through my heart, the consciousness that we truly both share on those higher ends? You got to know that you can do it before you can do it. And you got to make up your mind that that's what you want to do. And anything you can make up your mind to do, you can do. But you got to open your mind and expand your mind to get to that point in the first place. So, Earth seeds and star seeds. What a trip it is. What a trip it is. And it's really starting to make so much more sense. Um, those of us that are going through our process are experiencing very much an ease of life. It's almost like you go through your ascension process and you go into retirement. You can start having fun. It's not a struggle anymore. You're like, what? I want to go out there and struggle in the 3D world. I don't want to do that. I've done that forever. That's what got me tired of doing that. I was looking for what I got now. And so many other people are going to have to, they're going to have to come to that point. You know, the Earth seeds are going to have to become star seeds, because that's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. The energies, man, they are really, really cooking. It's interesting to have that message for the 40-day event, and I see persons doing 40-day events right now all over the planet. There's 40 days of self-love, 40 days focus on self, people doing 40 days of no negativity, 40 days of focusing on what it is that you wish to manifest in New Earth and manifest for your life. Same thing that we've done for so many years now. And then there's various group meditations going on. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I'm so grateful for that. That's pretty cool, because that's exactly how we change this planet right there. We got to do it through a group focus. Yes, we can alter our individual life experiences through our individual focus, but we're here to ascend this planet, the collective of humanity. There's only one way to do that. That's to get everybody to participate, everybody to go through this process. And boy, is it happening fast. It is interesting to me how many of the Earth seeds are waking up, but I go fishing sometimes and I'll toss something out there like chemtrails or ETs or something to persons that are in that New Age realm, that come into natural food stores or New Age bookstores or into the that are in the yoga communities. And it's amazing how many people still they might be awakened to something's going on here on planet, but still not yet awake to geopolitically what's really going on, and how can they be anywhere close to being awake to the galactic levels that so many of us talk about and just play in all the time. And so somehow or another, we're going to have to get everybody through, and that's part of what things like the solar eclipse and all these hurricanes and everything are about. If you can't do it one way, it's going to be accomplished another. If you didn't choose the easy way, which we've been talking about since 1987 or the mid-1980s with the global meditations and stuff, you don't choose it that way, you're going to get it in another way. We do this the easy way, we do it the hard way. It's up to you. Oh man, I choose the easy way. I don't like the crap. I really don't like the crap. I had enough of that long ago, so I don't even allow people that are in the lower vibrations to stay within my field for very long. I'll choose to go or move them on myself. But I am so grateful that so many people on the same wavelength had heard that we do need to get the groups together. Now, that's interesting. Right after I put that 40 days message out, Magenta Pixie was coming in saying, a lot of us just do it with telepathy, and we do. And there are many people that had seen my videos and trying to get me to join together with them in groups. I'm not really although, yeah, I'm part of the starseed community and that group of people, I'm still very independent, and I don't necessarily do groups like people perceive groups to be. Some people really need those groups, and then there are those of us that really are, our groups are higher levels of self. It's it's that group instead of this group. And there's a lot of people newly awakening that they hear it on this linear level and haven't yet come to that point of the spherical or ascension column, vertical level. And I hope I don't upset people when I tell them, yeah, get your groups together, but I'm not going to be a part of your group. The group is the collective. And yes, if we had some way to put together 7 billion people and their focused concentration at the same time, that's really where we want to go. But that's going to happen so quickly, or we started up, that's not exactly how this is going to happen. We have tried that many times and we get shot down. Anytime we put together large group messages that are hitting the target so pinpoint perfectly like that, it's just like what's happened to me on Facebook ever since the last 40-day event message, and then the 2 solar eclipse videos I did. There was 9,800 followers I had, and about 50 people a day are being removed from my followers list, and that's Facebook doing that. That's not people unsubscribing from my work. That's the guys that don't want the messages out, doing everything that they can to stop the messages from getting out. And that's the same thing with me doing YouTube videos. The last YouTube videos on the eclipse, I did less than 1,000 people watch, but many times 5,000 to 10,000 people watch my videos. And they're only going to be the people that are going to be in that level of frequency that would attune to my videos, that would watch it in the first place. But I'm hearing from people that they're not getting my messages. They're not getting my posts unless they come looking for me. They don't get it. That's the game we play right there. That's Google and CIA and Team Dark and all those guys not wanting this information. They don't want anybody empowered, and so they don't want this ascension to go down. Otherwise, they lose their food source, their revenue source, which is the unawakened sheeples. Oh man, what a hoot it is, what a hoot it is. Anyway, this is the 21st of September 2017, and the 40 days ends at the end of this month, but really we don't stop then. It keeps on going, but people who have been participating in holding that focus and in neutralizing the waves, being that wave baffle ever since the solar eclipse, can now look back and say, yeah, that message was right on target. I mean, you can see what's happened since that solar eclipse and know that this is just the beginning. There's a little thunder to accent that statement. This is just the beginning. We've got till 2024, the next major eclipse comes through, that will crisscross this last one about 50 miles north of where I was in Kentucky. That will be probably the midway point of this transition that the United States is going through right now. We're getting ready to see some very, very intense times. If all the hurricanes and the Mexico earthquake, and if all that wasn't enough, and all these other revelations aren't enough, This is just the beginning. And so really the 40 days, it doesn't just end here. It continues until we've changed this country, changing the United States of America and Team Dark, removing him from power, altering the control of this planet, and stopping the manipulation of humanity. I mean, this 40 days goes on until then. And those persons who hold spherical energies now, you understand, you get it. Many of the others that are still more linear, just trust us. You'll get it sooner or later. Well, anyway, I guess it's quit raining. It's 5:36 and a good time to shut this video down. I'm very grateful for all those people participating in holding the energies for the planet. For all the gatekeepers who are channeling these higher frequencies in and anchoring them into the planet, which crystallizes the planet, reprograms. Those energies are the encodings. That is consciousness. That's the frequencies we talk about. That is consciousness. And it's that consciousness that comes through our field and gets anchored into the earth and out around the globe to all of humanity. And two doves doing the wild thing. Sitting there watching Rose. I said, oh, this is pretty cool. Yep. It's all about that consciousness and about getting it out. And that consciousness isn't necessarily in these words. There are encodings in every transmission any of us are doing that will help to raise the consciousness and the frequency of the individuals that downloads them and unlocks the key. Anyway, what a trip it is. I have so much going on in my life right now. It's just incredible. Some people say stop and smell the roses, but I'm smelling the roses as I run. I can't slow down. There's just too much to get done in so many different ways. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for this video. Love y'all. Bye for now.